What is going on, campers? Chopsy Doodle back with the second part of the Cryptid camp story. In the first part, we were introduced to the main characters, Rowan and Sky, and their family, and they were looking around their house in order to find a metal detector. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and give chapter 2 a listen, and we'll see what kind of mysteries are going to be in this one. So here we go.
Chapter 2 of 7. Chapter 2, The Mark in the Beam. Rowan's eyes dart around mischievously. Stay right there. I'll be right back. He peeks into the hallway and slips out like a shadow. Before Sky can even argue or scramble down from the top bunk, he's back, breathing hard. Dad's wrestling with the generator still, and Mom's elbow deep in the kitchen cabinets. I say we hit the attic ourselves, Rowan whispers, his eyes wide with newfound energy. If we find the metal detector, Dad will be impressed. If we don't, well, no one has to know we went looking for it. You in? The attic? Sky's voice drops to a matching whisper. But Dad said the ladder is shaky. Dad says everything is shaky. He's just being overprotective, Rowan scoffs, though he looks a little tense himself, not fully confident in his own words. But a shaky ladder isn't enough to scare him away from his mission. If the metal detector is anywhere, it's gonna be up there. You coming, or what? Together, they creep into the hallway. Rowan reaches up and pulls the frayed cord dangling from the ceiling, a task that would have been impossible just a year ago, but his recent growth spurt is finally working in his favor. With a muffled screech of protesting from the rusty hinges, the wooden ladder unfolds and meets the floorboards with a gentle thud. Miraculously, the noises aren't loud enough to trigger an inquisitive shout from Mom downstairs. Rowan goes first, his sneakers squeaking on the rungs. Dad wasn't kidding either. The ladder is not very sturdy after all, and it groans under Rowan's gangly weight. I don't know, Ro, Sky whispers from behind him, her heart drumming against her ribs. She isn't typically known for breaking rules. I'll stay back and keep an eye out for Mom and Dad. It's a clever move, offering tactical support while avoiding the darkness of the dingy attic. Oh, come on, you big wuss, you're really gonna bail now? He teases, though he knows her mind is set. Fine, I'll do it myself. Just give me a whistle if someone's coming, okay? Roger, she replies with a mock salute, followed by a heavy sigh the moment his shoes disappear into the hatch. The attic is a furnace of stagnant air, and somehow even thicker dust than the rooms below. The roof is low, forcing any adult to crouch, but for Rowan, it's a secret hideout of the perfect height. Tattered windows on opposite sides, caked in decades of grime, filter the sun into sickly yellow beams. The sills are graveyards of hundreds of ladybug shells, spindled spider husks, and mouse droppings. Rowan's eyes scan the chaos. Stacks of 1982 Sears catalogs, headless mannequins, and rusted hunting gear lay scattered among piles of cardboard boxes and mismatched containers.
Sears catalogs, that's really funny. Definitely a 90s kid thing. I saw those all the time.
The attic feels untouched, sealed away like a forgotten tomb waiting to be disturbed. He pushes aside a pile of old magazines and ventures deeper into the clutter, intent on his mission, until a voice chirps from right behind him. Any luck? Rowan jolts, knocking over a stack of shoeboxes that hit the floor with an echoing thump. He spins around, eyes wide, only to see Sky peeking through the hatch. She clearly couldn't resist seeing for herself. Rowan? Sky? Their mother's voice calls distantly from the kitchen. What was that? Rowan's heart sinks into the pit of his stomach. He scrambles toward the ladder, panic rising. Not enough time. I need more time. Oh, it was nothing, Mom. Sky shouts from the hatch, her voice steady despite the chaos. I just tripped. I'm fine. You two better not be running in the house. Do you hear me? Followed by a well-rehearsed, we're not. After a few moments, Sky whips her head around and whispers, Okay, Mom bought it. Now hurry up, will ya? She gives him a glare before disappearing back down the ladder to reclaim her post. She's an accomplice, too deep into Rowan's tomfoolery to back out now. After a deep sigh of relief, Rowan returns to the maze, his shoulder brushing against the massive ridge beam that anchors the peak of the roof. He pauses, squinting at a spot where the wood looks intentionally scarred. With a quick swipe of his sleeve, he clears away a thick crust of gray dust to reveal a mark burned deep into the grain. It isn't a random scratch, but instead a precise branded design, a giant eyeball hovering above a campfire. He traces the charred edges with his thumb, wondering what it means, and even more, why the architect would bother branding a beam that hardly anyone would ever see.
Okay. A giant eyeball hovering above a campfire. Okay. Is this the Cryptid Camp Elemental? Possibly?
Out of the corner of his eye, a shadow stirs. He turns, but nothing is there. A cold prickle dances down his spine. Until now, he hadn't seriously considered that the cabin might be haunted. But standing alone in the dim attic of an unfamiliar cabin in the middle of nowhere, the idea suddenly feels far less ridiculous. He either needs to hurry up or give up, and he's not about to accept defeat just yet. He pushes through a wall of boxes, finding old crutches and a walking stick, but still no metal detector. Rowan reaches for an object that looks promising, only to uncover an ugly, forgotten coat rack. Ugh, where is it? He mutters to himself, frustration mounting. It has to be here somewhere. Then a draft, ice cold and smelling faintly of dried lavender, brushes past his ear. It is so close he feels the hair on his neck shift. Have you tried looking over there? The whisper was so light it could have been the wind whistling through a cracked window pane, yet it felt intentional. Before he can even look for the source, a box on the far side of the room rustles.
A draft of ice cold. Okay. I have a feeling that that might be La Llorona. I don't know. Is he associated with lavenders? Interesting.
It tips slowly until it falls as if pushed by an invisible hand and lands with a soft thud on its side. Oh, I guess I haven't. Good idea, Sky, Rowan replies instinctively. He takes 2 steps toward the box before the logic catches up to him like a physical blow. Rowan's breath hitches. Wait a minute, isn't Sky downstairs? She's still on the lookout, isn't she? We don't have all day, Ro. His sister's unmistakable voice hisses from the hatch, distinctly further away and much more impatient than the voice he just heard. He freezes and his eyes go wide. The panic takes root, but then his gaze locks onto the fallen box. Printed in faded 70s typography is the silhouette of a long-handled device, the Pathfinder high-sensitivity metal detector. Aha! His fear is immediately overridden by the thrill of finding his bounty. He lunges for the box and rips the flaps open. His face falls. It's just a hollow shell. An empty box. No batteries, no detector, not even a user manual. Are you kidding me? He groans, tossing the empty cardboard aside with dismay. But as the box tumbles away, it reveals what is hidden behind it all along. Tucked into the shadows of the nook is an ornate chest, its heavy, dark wood bound in tarnished brass, looking less like a storage container and more like a relic dragged from a shipwreck. It sits there, pulsing with a strange, undeniable gravity. Rowan is captivated. He leans in, forgetting the time constraint, forgetting the ghost. He pries it open, and inside is an uncanny array of mysterious objects. A brass spyglass, a shimmering paintbrush, and an ornate ocarina, among a handful of objects he's never seen before.
Okay. So this is referencing the lantern generators from the Kickstarter set. It's referencing three of them anyway. Um, that's very cool. Brass spyglass, that's the meteorite cabin. The shimmering paintbrush, that's the quartz cabin. And the ocarina is from the fulgurite cabin. Oh, and it says there's a second smaller chest with runes on it. That would be the malachite one, the vision generator.
Among the trinkets is a second, smaller chest with runes on it. Rowan flips the lid to find 2 pieces of paper within. Ew, cursive, he whispers, ignoring the particularly lengthy handwritten note. He unfolds the second page and his eyes go wide. Is this a map? A sharp whistle rings out from below. The signal. Rowan scrambles. In his shock, the note slips from his fingers, fluttering into the dark recesses of the chest. He doesn't have time to grab it. He stuffs the map into his vest, slams the chest closed, dives for the ladder, and descends as fast as physically possible. He hits the floor, heaves the folded ladder back into the ceiling with a thump, then quickly steadies the dangling cord. The hatch snaps shut just as Kathy rounds the corner from the stairwell with Sky walking backwards along with her, clearly doing her best to slow her down. Well, what was that? Kathy asks exasperatedly, looking from a dust-covered Rowan to a very guilty-looking Sky. Well, maybe Ro fell down too? Sky shrugs, trying to explain it away. She notices the ladder is up just in time and breathes a silent sigh of relief. Oh, hey, sorry, Mom, Rowan blurts out, his voice a pitch too high. He quickly brushes gray streaks off his jeans and sleeves. I just stubbed my toe on the dresser. He instinctively rubs the back of his neck and in that moment clearly resembles his father. He tries to look innocent, but his mind is spinning. He has a mysterious map in his pocket, a chest full of strange treasures above him, and the very real feeling that they are not alone in this cabin. Kathy stands akimbo, her gaze tracking the way they're both breathing just a little too fast. She isn't buying any of their excuses for a second. Nice try, you two, she says, cutting through Rowan's high-pitched defense. But I wasn't born yesterday, and you're not as sneaky as you think you are. You want to stay busy? Fine. I've got 2 rags and a bottle of cleaner with your names on them. We're starting with the dusting. Rowan, take the higher shelves. Sky, the baseboards. I'll get the rags and the pine sol. Let's go.
Oof, they got busted. Okay, I just want to go back and see here. Did it say? A handwritten note. He unfolds the second page in his eyes. Just a map. A sharp whistle rings out. So there's 2 pieces of paper. One was a note and one was a map. He kept the map. The paper, I'm assuming, is telling him what the map is, but he doesn't have that now.
Rowan and Sky follow her like prisoners of war being marched to the gallows. Sky's legs are practically vibrating with all of her unasked questions. Her eyes dart to Rowan every 3 seconds, her mind spinning. What was even up there? Why was it taking him so long? Did he find the metal detector? Or was it something better? Meanwhile, Rowan's pulse is a dull thud in his ears. The map is stiff in his vest pocket. Every time he moves, he's terrified it will crinkle loud enough for Mom to hear. Was that really an X on the map? Like a treasure map?
Okay, very, very interesting. So they went looking for the metal detector. We have a possible La Llorona in the cabin, or some kind of ghost. He found a few of the vision generators. I'm assuming maybe all of them were in that chest. It just said, it mentioned 3, but it said there was among other things. And now we've got a map with an X on it. But we still don't have a metal detector. So maybe we're still looking for that one in the next chapter. But yeah, that was chapter 2 of the Cryptid Camp story, Marking the Beam, and it's very intriguing. So we'll keep going on this series, and I hope it keeps getting more and more exciting as we go on, and that we discover some really cool stuff. Until the next one, I'll see you guys later. Peace.